I remember back in 2004, I was watching TV. It was probably the last time I watched TV, actually. But I switched it on and this show came on. And I started watching it and I was, this is amazing. I mean, I couldn't believe it. It was so good. It was so funny, so interesting, so colorful and full of all these interesting characters and the music. And actually the music is what I want to focus on in this video. But it was just great, and I was amazed of how good it was. But even more amazed was the fact that it was on TV. That was really amazing, that something this good was on television. That kind of out there, off-center humor, this irreverent and alternative style of comedy, the fact that it was there, you know, and that was on TV, and that people had an opportunity to see something different.
Genius!
All the music in the Mighty Boosh was composed by Julian Barrett. He's a really good guitarist. I realized that, God, there were so many references there. There's so many references to music that I really liked, music that I grew up with. Obviously, this guy knows about music. He's brought up on jazz, he knows about classical, he knows about rock, pop, the whole thing. He's got it happening there. You can just tell by the music he composes and the references that are made. The actual theme to the show, at the very beginning of the music, there's a reference to Gustav Holst. Those two chords alternating between an interval of a tone.
Come with us now on a journey through time and space.
There is the Stravinsky reference, The Rite of Spring, that significant piece of 20th century classical music appears in many of the shows, and it usually happens when there's potential danger. And he uses different parts of the piece. In episode 4 from series 1, he uses a section from Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the John Williams soundtrack. So this little audio snippet happens during the scene where we focus in on the egg of Mantumbi.
We are the keepers of the egg of Mantumbi.
In relation to the jazz references, one of my favorite bits is where Howard Moon's character dies and he's requested that at his funeral they play Blue Train by John Coltrane. And Vince Noir says, well, you know, we couldn't find that recording, so instead we're going to play Thomas the Tank, the theme to Thomas the Tank Engine.
Howard loved jazz, and he asked me to play Blue Train by John Coltrane at his funeral. I couldn't really find that, sorry Howard, but I did find another song about a train. I hope it will do just as well.
Other references are not necessarily musical, they're just integrated into the comedy, into the script. I mean, there's the running Gary Newman reference. Vince Noir is obsessed with Newman and talks about him a lot in different episodes throughout the series. And he's fascinated by the fact that Newman has a pilot's license. He's got a phone with a ringtone that plays Cars. In fact, in the third series, Gary Newman makes an appearance. There's a Carlos Santana reference in series 2 where Spider Dijon calls Santana up and wants to go over and join the band.
In my phone book here, huh? Maybe I can read the name of Carlos.
Carlos Santana. I might have known.
Hey, Carlos, baby!
In that same episode, there's an appearance by Roger Daltrey. This is in relation to a comment Rudy makes about Woodstock, the Who performed at Woodstock back in 1969. And they're just joking about the band's leaving and not tidying up after them. And Rudy says, well, you know, what goes round comes round. Maybe one day Roger Daltrey will have to clean up. And at the very end, the last scene of that episode, you see Roger Daltrey with a Hoover cleaning up.
Hi there.
And there are a couple of episodes where you have these really funky grooves. episode 3 from series 2, Vince Noir calls himself Obsidian Blackbird McKnight. Now, Blackbird McKnight was a jazz rock guitarist from the 1970s who played for the Headhunters.
The thing I liked about jazz was the movement from bebop to modal jazz in the late 50s, where they had more of a use of the flat 9 chord.
Very fascinating.
So these are references that people like myself, I suppose, find quite enjoyable.
This person must be very important to you.
He is important. He's my mentor. He's my hero.
Maybe this hero is closer than you think. Howard Moon.
Oh my God. Alan Holdsworth.
You know, most people won't know who Alan Holdsworth is, but for those of us who do, it adds another dimension to the comedy. The Mighty Boosh is a rich tapestry of comedy and music, and there's so many things happening in that show. I mean, I can't really do it justice in this video. I wouldn't even attempt to do it justice in this video because there's so much stuff going on. I just wanted to do a video on this show because I just think it's one of the best things I've seen next to Monty Python and the Goodies. I mean, it is up there. It is up there, most definitely. And we'll probably won't see anything like that again. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.